One is the conservation easement that Utah Open Land is putting out. In the Park City Council, when they presented the conservation easement, the first thing the mayor told us is we will not discuss access in any way tonight. And it would not be part of their agenda. So it was just the presentation of this. If we bring it up, they wouldn't even allow us to continue with that. The next meeting was a stakeholders meeting, which a couple of your members were a part of. We brought up access again, and the mayor very abruptly told us that they were not going to discuss that as well. They asked us early on to submit a plan, and this is what we did submit. So if you can go to the map that looks like this. We've agreed with their policy. Here you go. Do you need that?
Yes.
Of the non-motorized. We've asked for 4 corridors that are absolutely crucial to access the cabins, the residents in the wintertime. Jeep Hill is one of them, Ridge Road is one, Culvert Meadow. There's a small one that's not marked that is right here. I believe that one has been addressed. The small red one that's coming off the green.
Oh, I see it. Jeep Hill?
No.
Your Sky Drive?
No, it does not have name on it. That is actually Lynn Herrick's access and her only access.
Brandon Pointer somewhere kicking around here. How's it been addressed?
She found an old document from United Park City Mines that allowed her
Grandfathered access?
so it's, where are we? Right there.
Oh, it's a flash.
Okay. So I believe that one's okay. The frustration.
Has that been given to Park City?
Yes, that has.
I need a Jedi green one.
Which one would you like me to use?
Jedi green.
No, this goes green. This could also
Okay.
burn a hole.
Why should the small one?
This one?
So with that said, we have not missed a meeting with Park City. We have not missed one of the jurisdictional meetings. We have not missed one of the stakeholders meetings. And every time we go into those, we get shut down. And are asking for our access as part of just necessity for Brighton Estates. I don't know how we give that up. They want us to stay on the Hart Road. That road is impassable on certain storms in the wintertime. We have to be able to drop off that Jeep Hill. We have to be able to use Ridge Road. I was schooled a little bit today by Heinrich that when I called him on my way up, that this is not an access problem, this is a use problem. I'm using the wrong terms according to what they are. And we may use these if there's an emergency, but they still will not put any of this in their documentation. Their documentation is going to be voted on June 21st, and we keep addressing that. Would you please at least have discussions with us and hear our concerns? We can't get that to happen. So this is why we're here to ask help from you, direction from you. What can we do to not give up that? Our prospective easement should fall in fairly easy. We've been using these roads for over 50 years. And we've agreed to everything else in their documents. Their documents are very strict. Except for they're allowed in their Nordic to bring groomers in. So they can run a groomer where they feel fit for their recreation, but we can't run a snowmobile or snowcat under 4 corridors to access. They're taking some limits pretty extreme. They're having what they call a primitive area where it's hiking only. You cannot do anything. You can't take a dog. It's going to be no dogs except for 2 trails. But on the second hand, they're building new bike trails that can be up to 8 feet wide. But we still can't access our property. They've got 4 parking lots slated for this. One of them is in the wide parking lot where we, that's very crucial for us in the wintertime. That's where we stage to get to our homes and our cabins. And we've got to keep that going. You guys have always been wonderful with us in allowing us the access through that corridor, down from Empire Pass to the wide parking lot. Again, we can't lose that. We're slowly being moved out. Our parking down below the gate by the Montage is getting smaller and smaller. We used to be able to park right around the water tank. They cut that off this year, and for example, I had nowhere I could even park my snowcat this year. I didn't take it up because I had nowhere to park it anymore. I don't know how to access it from that point. And next year, I'm afraid that they're going to take it one step further. They're slowly trying to push us back out and push this conservation easement through without any input from us, without any direction from us, without even acknowledging that we have a problem. So that's why we're here. And this next statement's going to shock the living hell out of you, but both sides of us, as far as the homeowners, are in agreement on this one. Very rare.
You're right, that none is shot. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're making progress. We're getting there.
I'd like to see a signed affidavit from every member.
Do I have
We ever had their signature on the same sheet of paper and combust.
It would. It would. Me and Mr. Fisher have actually been in the same room a couple times.
Sweet.
So it's been, we're making progress.
All right.
What do I do?
Rick, you need just seasonal access on Jeep Hill and Cobra Meadows.
Yes.
In the winter time.
We are absolutely willing to give up summer access on Jeep Hill
And how about
and Culvert. Yes.
Bonanza Road.
Bonanza Road, no. We use that. That's a main access in the summertime to hit it.
That upper, that one section.
Right. And Ridge Road, they're planning on their first parking lot is going to be right on top of that Ridge Road. And
On the Garden Pass Road.
See where it says illegal gravel pit?
Yeah.
That's going to be a parking lot.
Right.
Yes, sir.
No.
Right
yeah,
about, right there. Yes.
That's Ridge Road.
Yes. So
Parking, so those trails and that you talked about will probably take off out of that parking lot.
the next, one of the trails that they're going is going to be up towards the quarry, which is above
the Jedi?
There's another quarry parking lot right there. That, I believe, is going to be one of their first ones. It's going to have restrooms there, and they're going to change the access to Blood Lake from coming off Guardsman and over the top and down to it's going to come over this way and make it a 2-mile hike to lessen the burden, as they say, accessing Ridge Road, but also to eliminate the parking up on top of Guardsman.
But there's only going to be like 14 parking stalls.
They're discussing right now a total limit of how many between all 4 parking lots. That came out of the last meeting that we were at, and it is going to change dramatically from what it is now. Everybody is in agreement that Guardsman is an issue. It's a safety hazard. There's at some points you can't even drive a vehicle down that because it's so congested with parked cars.
Didn't we do a parking thing? Did we finish that?
We did, we passed an ordinance, it's
Parking
no
ordinance
parking
along
from
there.
Guardsman Pass down to
Down to the Y.
So enforcement obviously is going to be a very large issue, whether Wasatch County takes on. I know State Parks doesn't want that burden. It's going to fall on you if we decide that we're going to break every rule they have and go down Jeep Hill in the winter. We don't know what to do. There is no way that we can't access our property in the wintertime without dropping down, depending on the storm cycle. There's some photos in the back of that booklet that I gave you that shows you the magnitude of how deep that snow does get. And it may take a couple days for the plow, and Matt could probably speak a little better. He's the manager of the plow up there, on what the timeline is on some of those storm cycles that come through. This year was very, very light. Last year was over the top extreme, and we never know what it's going to hit us. So we don't know whether to take this legal and go fight the prospective, easements with that. We don't know if you guys can muscle in and help us a little bit more. That's why I'm here. And that's where we're asking for advice and direction and figure out where to go and how we protect ourselves. We were involved from this from the start. We raised, thousands and thousands of dollars as a group, contributed to it. And then I feel like we got ran over by the bus. They don't need us, they don't want us, and we are the burden at this point.
Okay, is this where we need to go into closed session, or is there some other questions?
We've been attending meetings and agree with Rick that it's not settled. And I think Mike has a plan how we can work on this and make it a win-win for everybody. It's going to involve some legal work and put it after the executive session.
We're willing to participate with that legal. We don't know what to do with that. That's why Mr. Hool is here with us. He just doesn't know who his client is going to be, whether it's all of us as members of Brighton Estates or a few of us residents. That's something that we need to, whether we work with you and get a little bit more direction, but we need some help.
Now, how we did say this morning, it was not going to try to do anything on the Wasatch County Road.
Could you please speak up a little bit?
Our speakers are
They're
on.
not going to do anything. They're off.
No, they're not. It's not.
They're not going to do anything or have anything affect the county roads.
They would like us to continue our access only from the county roads. That's impossible for us in the wintertime. In the summertime, it's not a big deal, other than Ridge Road.
Sir, did you have a comment?
I do. Before you go into
Would
closed
you
session.
just give us your name quick?
Yeah, my name is Matt Michael, and I'm a resident of Brighton Estates since 1998, and I'm currently the plow manager. I take care of all plowing operations for the past 8-9 years now. So one of the things that I wanted to address, as well as access, is parking. And that goes hand in hand with the access that we're looking for. One of the things that I've heard kind of thrown around by Park City is that they are planning on limiting or at least trying to prevent us from parking at the wide parking area, which is our primary parking in the wintertime. So we plow over Empire Pass from the red gate on the Park City side to the wide parking area. And I was speaking with UDOT this morning, and as I understand, that road is your jurisdiction. State Highway 224 ends at Empire Pass. So they were saying that there is no way that we're going to be allowed to park at the Y any longer, meaning this next winter. And the way I kind of saw it was, I don't know how they could do that unless they had permission from Wasatch County to do that, because I know the property surrounding the Y intersection is definitely Bonanza Flat, and they could probably tell us, hey, don't park your snowmobiles here, but in the right-of-way, I would guess, unless you told us specifically that we weren't allowed to park there, that would still be fair game. Does that sound right, or is that something we need to discuss?
Mike, how wide is that right away?
Well, it's prescriptive use, and our claim would be it'd be at least 66 feet, it might be 75 feet. And I agree with what's said, because our agreement with Brighton Estates is that they could plow that area and utilize the right-of-way area for parking during the winter. We've allowed that, we've agreed to that for several years. And unless they had some other option of parking, I would see no reason why we would not continue that. If there were another option, which they don't have at this time, then it could be discussed differently. But there are no other options at this time for them to park.
And that's the frustrating part on our side, is the mayor keeps telling us that this is not the appropriate time to even have a discussion with Brighton Estates. I think that this is a crucial time for us to have that discussion, and that is put in the conservation easement document to protect us, not just this year, but through every year continuing, because that can change. There is writing in here that every 5 years that they can address it through the stakeholders, but we weren't allowed to be part of the stakeholders, which I think we should have been. We begged for, we keep asking for, and we are ignored. And we just can't break down or even climb over that wall in any way. So that's again why we're here. We need your support, and we're looking for direction.
Okay, anything further before we go into closed session? If not, then entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Okay.
For litigation. I'll second the motion.
Motion by Mr. Park, second by Mr. Crittenden. Any discussion? I'll vote yes.
Yes.
Dan?
Yes, sorry.
Yes. Before you do that, Mark, do you have anything that you need to, we're good? See, we're in the same room again. This is huge. We're doing great.
This is huge.
We are doing great.
Mr. Peterson?
Yeah, he's not totally in the room.
Yeah,
Set us up for just a moment, will you?
Okay, we're going to go into closed session for matters of legal. I'll ask the attorney to let us know who we need to have here for this item.